so lonely, broken angel. I'm so lonely.
Jonathan Moyo, welcome to Hardtalk. Why have you gone into hiding and not wished to disclose your whereabouts?
It is because of the extraordinary situation that exists in Zimbabwe following the unconstitutional overthrow of the government in a military coup that took place on the 15th of November. And on that day, the military specifically targeted my house and myself with a clear intention to cause harm. And that's why I am not in the country, although I left the country legally. I am not at liberty to disclose my whereabouts because they have shown a very clear and determined intention to find me and harm me wherever I am.
You've talked about worries about your life and threats and harassment and so on. What's the evidence for that?
It's common cause in Zimbabwe. I've even put that evidence on my Twitter feed on the morning of the 15th of November, around 2:30 a.m. Zimbabwean time. Some between 15 to 25 heavily armed SAS soldiers came to my residence and they destroyed the gate, destroyed the entrance, the door to my house, and shot their way into every room looking for me. But fortunately, they did not find me, and none of the members of my family were there because I had been forewarned the previous night that the military were going to raid my house, and I was advised by a very close friend that I should not spend the night at my house and that I should take every member of my family with me out of the house, and the evidence, physical evidence of what then happened to my house has been there for anyone to see.
All right, so where did you go then? Where did you go? Reports are that you went with your family to Robert Mugabe's mansion and that they were allowed to stay, but you were refused. Is that what happened?
That is false. I'm glad that the military people who wanted to harm me on the night of the coup don't actually know what happened, and they've been peddling falsehoods about the circumstances. What I would say, without putting in jeopardy many of God's people who were very kind to give me assistance, is that it is true that I took my family with me on the night of the 14th of November to my colleague's residence, and my colleague being Xavier Kasukuere, who was then Minister of Local Government. And the amazing fact is that his house was also attacked about the same time when my house was being attacked, when I was there with my family. It was him and his family, and altogether there were 11 of us at his residence when the residence was attacked.
So that's where you went. But you know that Xavier Kasuku and you are one of the most wanted men from Zimbabwe, and in fact the former finance minister Ignatius Chombo is in prison. How did you manage to escape Zimbabwe? You say you left legally, but yet on the other hand you've just described how the army and the authorities were coming after you.
Yes. When they came to attack Xavier Kasukuere's house at about 2:30 a.m. On the 15th of November, they subjected it to some 15 minutes of gunfire, and amazingly, after those 15 minutes, and they had surrounded the house, the sounds of gunfire just went silent, and we waited there for, I think, something like 10 minutes, and there was no movement or sign of any presence of these special forces that had surrounded the house and shot at it from every angle. And we then managed to get out of the house, and we were amazed that they were no longer there. They probably.
So how did you leave the?
I'm so lonely, broken.